possible partnership between the two countries, specifically when we talk about the Indian railway sector. We are confident and we are sure, and we will ensure that the Canadian companies are able to understand the dynamics when it comes to the Indian railway sector and can possibly look at various partners across the various domains of Indian railway sector and build partnerships. So without any further ado, I will hand over the baton to the session moderator, Mr. Jagan Narayan Padmanabhan, to take forward the discussion from here.
Thank you. Thanks, Komal, for that introduction. I'm happy to be here as part of the FICCI, Railways Conclave, Smart Railways Conclave. We have an extremely electrifying panel out here who combined probably will have more than 200 years of experience in terms of in the core railways part of it. Looking forward to an enriching session. Let me quickly go around and call out and make a small introduction, completely not doing justice to what they would have done as part of it, but within the given time limit, I'll just quickly do. We have Mr. Louis Guy, Vice President of Sales and Business Development, EMEA for Loop Energy, Inc. We have Mr. Raman Wali, Business Alliances Director, Willowglen Systems, Inc. Maybe a show of hands will help people to know who I'm addressing. Yeah, hi, that's Raman Wali. Mrs. Ashish Singh, Vice President and Railways, KEC International. We have Mr. Pradeep Vasudev, Director of International Rail Projects, WSP. And we have Mr. BK Arora, General Manager, Afcons International Limited. Great. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have all of you out here. And this is a discussion where it is centered towards India and Canada. It's a collaboration between the Indian railways and what we're looking at in terms of technology, in terms of what are the new things that is going to be coming across. Getting in Raman specifically on taking this further into the whole digitization part. How do you the whole value chain that if you were to look at it, new technology, automation, digitization, the whole artificial intelligence part of it. So many of these terminologies are now being faced. And for a company like you who specializes in this and the systems which are there, what are the kind of learnings that we could get on things that you would have done outside of India, and also probably what are you planning for India and how the collaboration can come through? Happy to hear your views.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for setting up this panel discussion. I think I personally learned a lot from this discussion since early morning, my time zone. One thing I really learned during this event was the entire plan is a journey. It's not that we plan and we start or we stop at some point. So you are absolutely right. When we talk about the digitization and then digitalization, and now we are talking about the digital transformation, and a lot of companies are talking about the digital twins. Basically, this is all the journey that the companies are moving forward. So what I learned today was that India has a very good infrastructure and very good settled, let's say, transportation system. But now it is a time to move to the next level, and that next level is part of the digital transformation and digital twins, so we can benefit from them. Mr. Ashish talked about the proactive maintenance or predictive maintenance, and now we are talking about the next level, like preventive maintenance, or let's say data correction or data like error detection and correction in the railroad systems, part of the artificial intelligence algorithms. So definitely there are so many improvements, so many things that can be done. At Willowglen Systems, we are a SCADA company. We call our product SensiQ as a super SCADA. Basically, we can integrate so many subsystems together, and that's a very good scalable system We have some install base in Canada, in China, in some other part of the world. For example, we brought the CCTV system into the operator's station, and usually CCTVs have their own, let's say, alarm management software. And then we can integrate it to the original alarm management by the operator. So we eliminate some of those additional steps if some alarm is going on in the CCTV system versus the operator's station. So they can integrate all these together. And these are all part of the digital transformation steps. And again, I learned a lot today about the tier 2, tier 3 investments for the metro rail, let's say LRTs or light rails, and even some of the low-cost solutions by eliminating the heavy, let's say, huge stations, for example. So nowadays, there are so many types of smart sensors available in the market with very small footprints, very low energy consumption, and all those points can be integrated to the SCADA system or a master DCS system. And from there, they can do a lot of monitoring, control. And when Mr. Ashish talked about the end-to-end points, like this is definitely a goal for all the transportation systems. We need to share a lot of data between different infrastructures. Let's say public transport share data with the metro rail system, for example. And now I see a lot of startup companies are doing that, like they connect the metro information with the let's say taxi companies, so that people can predict, okay, now is the time that the metro rail is reaching to this station. And these type of infrastructures are also available through the SCADA systems. So definitely we are in a very right place. We need to have a master plan. Like I'm pretty sure the discussions like this are definitely results to some sort of the master plan for the next 20, 25, 30 years. And open system, scalable system can be a very good fit for that type of requirements.
Excellent. I think very valid points that you've brought across. So digitization is just not specific to Indian Railways or a particular mode of transport. It has to really integrate into the other modes as well. And that's where the beauty of technology can be really leveraged and being experienced by people. So very, very valid points that's there. Kind of looking at some of the case studies that we could look at, right? In terms of this whole technology, digitization, what's the benefit that comes across multiple stakeholders, and where you would have experienced this. Could you take us through some of the international experiences that you would have put across, and so that we know and expect what could be the kind of benefit that comes across? Yeah.
Definitely. Willowglen has multiple projects all over the world, and I would refer to one in China, which is one of the biggest installations, and the other one in Canada, which is a very complex architecture. So between these two systems, these two architectures, basically what our SCADA system is doing is trying to connect all different islands. Let's say we have CCTVs, management system, electrical systems, all of them has to be connected to the main center as a SCADA system, and a decision has to be made based on all the information. In one last instance I had in Ottawa, for example, they want to change the speed of elevators based on the time. So if we have the trains moving from this direction, then the elevators have to change the direction. But these type of benefits basically are achievable through the integrated system. Now, there are so many challenges, as we talked about the challenges, these are the practical challenges, are the protocols. Different islands, different systems have different protocols. Some of them are proprietary of the company, and a super SCADA type system is required to bring all those points together, analyze the situation. And we also have an open server, so that we can run some of these artificial intelligence algorithms on them. So basically, these are some of the experiences we have. We can save energy based on the, let's say, energy peak time, some of the timing, some of the scheduling. And when we talk about the end-to-end solutions, then we need to also consider sharing the data with the other systems. Now, we also talked about what we can offer, what we can bring to the table when we talk about the Indian market. Basically, what I learned again today was there are so many intelligence there. There are so many companies are doing the system integration, software development, and when it comes to the projects in India, we definitely recommend having the local presence. So we are not a big company to join as a PPP or finance a part of the project, but we can definitely support the local integrators by offering them our software licenses. Even I think practically we should not sell our license. We should have some sort of exclusive agreement with the local system integrator so that the system integrators use our license for multiple projects in one region. And this know-how knowledge has to be transferred locally, because definitely time zone, being competitive, and definitely the resources, great resources available in India to be able to deploy that technology and use it in their project. So I took the advantage of your question to tell what we can do, what we can offer, but we did the same practice in China. We did the same practice in Saudi Arabia, for example. We have a local presence, and local system integrators takes care of all the maintenance and supports. And in Canada, we definitely have local presence in different areas.
Should we move to Mr. Ramin? Any closing remarks from your side?
It's very important, the passengers' experience. They expect us to do some, let's say, safety, scheduling, and some of those basic features which are already there. And then now they are asking for the next level of the comfort, let's say easy to access or connectivity, IoT, some of those convenience and hygiene they expect. So that's the place, that's the right place to discuss about the journey. And I hope this type of events can help sharing the knowledge and improving the situation.
Yeah, I think we did touch upon it in saying that the whole technology moves beyond the one mode of transport. So it goes multiple parts of it, and then it's just not the passenger in the railways part of it, and how the whole hand holding into the whole mobility part. So from when he starts from his home to his destination, that experience has to be there, and the interchange also has to be there, and it needs to be real time in its presence. So I think, yeah, very valid point in terms of the passenger experience is also very important. And if you're able to drive that in a very value-based part of it, I think for a market like India, the scope is immense. So if you're able to effectively deliver, so I'll take a quick, maybe a bit of a detour and talk about it in a banking perspective, so that the audience can appreciate. The digitalization which has happened in the banking sector for India is unprecedented. In the last couple of years, today, every kind of payment, starting from 10 rupees, which is like 1/7 of a dollar, upwards, everything is done through the digital way. So even small things that we buy, fruits, vegetables, everything is digital. The point I'm saying is that if you're able to get that digitization, and if you're able to deliver it at a very cost-effective manner, the market is very, very huge. So we are 1.3 billion people, and hence there's great stuff that can be exploited, and surely railways is one of the areas that can be done, because it's a touch point for billions of people in India. It's the lifeline of the country, and that's how they move across. And hence, this will be a very good point. Mr. Ashish, over to you for any closing remarks.
Thank you, Jagan. I think discuss and they are very relevant to the future rail transportation system. The integration we have already discussed. The budget is already there. The plan is already there for the Gati Shakti, where a lot of all the transportation mode will be integrated together, and the technology or the digitalization will again come. And Jagan has pointed out very right thing. The banking was probably one of the best example of digitalization, where the Indian banks actually opposed for it because how it will be difficult, how the money will be. Accountability will be first fixed and all those things, but it's actually getting implemented very well. So there may be resistance, probably how it can be done, how it cannot be done, but everything is possible. It is actually going to be the digitalization because as Pradeep has rightly mentioned that whatever the asset that we are creating is a fixed asset. But over and above that, the system is actually get deteriorated during the operations, and the energy for the digitalization and all the revenue operation, all the consent, all the access which is actually getting are actually happening because of the faults in the system. So I think we should pay attention to create a good quality of asset. Maybe the digitalization may again come to that place also, and then operation and the operation maintenance and the operation is definitely be the area where we can do a lot of things. There is immense potential. The budget is there, allocation is there. Probably we can say that the will is there to make all those changes. It is actually the things as Pradeep has initially started to get it implemented in a proper way that will actually take us to the next level.
Excellent. So Pradeep, over to you. Final remarks on this. Yeah.
Thank you, Jagan. This has been quite enjoyable, and I think I'll latch on to Ramin's point about customer experience as being something that's a good way to kind of end this. Is that I've mentioned output based quite a lot. The ultimate output of what we're doing and why we're doing it is the customer, and a significant part of the railway project in terms of where we're heading for the future is about brownfield projects. It's about transforming the current network to something in the future. And what's important from a customer experience standpoint is that this transformation is totally transparent. And the experience is improved, but it doesn't disrupt operation of railway or it minimizes as such. Even what Luigi talks about, alternate things like hydrogen cells, etc. Instead of electrifying, maybe you go from diesel to hydrogen cells, for example. The infrastructure cost and the disruption in certain areas is minimized. So there's a lot of things that we can do from what is being talked about here that can improve the customer experience and do it in a way that transforms the railway to something that is, I suppose, more world-class than it is today. Because I'll tell you, I grew up in India, and the Indian Railways is absolutely my passion. I've loved it all along, and I will always love it. And I'd love to see it transform into something even better.
No, absolutely. We all love Indian Railways. I mean, I hail from a place which is Mumbai, where we transport many countries every day from one location to the other. So the sheer numbers will baffle many people across the world. So it's not a joke of what they are trying to do with the constraints that have been imposed on them. Hats off to the people who are doing it. It's a extremely strenuous job. We are every day thankful to what they bring to the table. So I think I'll just sum it up in kind of closing this. Quite an enriching discussion. We talked about the whole PPP, the whole opportunity, either on the infra part of it or the output-based maintenance part of it, and that's a new thing that we kind of heard it. What is the kind of benefit that it offers? Operating from a lever of the 15% of the cost, how can be really beneficial for the overall project of the 100%. And these are large-scale projects. We are not talking about a few $million. It runs into billions of rupees, and hence this does really make sense if you have to make those kind of investments and make them work productively. We talked about from Luigi from the hydrogen part of it and how the impact that it can have. We talked about new technology. We talked about the partnership which Mr. Arora talked about between India and Canada and how the firms can collaborate and bring across. We talked about digitization. Ramin was kind enough to talk about their experience in Canada, China, and other places, how these whole of it can come across. Mr. Ashish Singh talked about their experience, Casey's experience in the metro, in the passenger and the overall locomotive and other aspects, including the coverage, the security part of it and everything. So I think we kind of have deliberated multiple facets of the Indian Railways. No one particular discussion can really do justice in kind of covering all of it. We've tried our best to do all of that. So a big thank you to all the panelists, the participants, and kind of now hand it over to Komal to conclude the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. A lot has been said, and I wish the Canadian companies all the best. And any help that you would require, as FICCI has given full support to the High Commission as well. Any support that you would expect or want from us, we'll be more than happy to connect you to the right people who can help you develop and build your business in India as far as railways is concerned. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jagan, for moderating this session in an excellent manner. And look forward, once everything opens up, it has, but when everything is like it was before, we look forward to a delegation from Canada for the railway companies, and we look forward to meeting all of you in person.
Sure.
Yeah.
All the best. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Jagan. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you very much.